Great. Okay. Good morning, colleagues and friends. My name is Steffen Bohni Nielsen. I'm the chair of PEROSH and also, in my day job, the Director General of the Danish National Research Center for the Working Environment in Denmark, NFA. 22 years ago, Directors General from European OSH research institutes recognized the need and potential within strengthening European collaboration across the OSH field. To realize this potential, PEROSH was born. 2 years ago, when PEROSH celebrated its 20th anniversary, the founding fathers and founding mothers were invited. I humbly acknowledge their foresight. In the current geopolitical climate, European collaboration and institutionalization is as important as it ever was. Those of us leading or working within national OSH research institutes share a unique profile in our respective countries. Every PEROSH member institute holds a particular position in its national occupational safety and health ecosystem, whether as a part of a ministry, a public university, an independent scientific organization, or as embedded within an accidents insurance system. Despite these differences in governance and structure, we share the same core mandate, which is to produce and procure applied research that makes the work safer, healthier, and more sustainable. Today, our PEROSH family has 15 member institutes and from 14 countries representing more than 2,500 OSH experts. It's a knowledge resource unmatched in Europe and beyond. But with that mandate comes a dual challenge. Applied research sounds straightforward, but it is not. Research implies that we must adhere to high scientific standards. We must deliver academic excellence, delivering credible, high-quality, peer-reviewed research that stands at the forefront of our field. Applied research implies that the research must be used. It must be informative and perhaps even transformative at the workplace and at the policy level. We must deliver societal impact, ensuring that our evidence is not only published, but also translated into policies, regulations, policy implementation, and workplace practices that protects millions of workers. These are not competing or even mutually exclusive goals. They are interconnected, and international collaboration is the bridge that allows us to achieve both at the same time. PEROSH exists to make that bridge stronger, more resilient, and more productive for all its members. So why collaborate? Putting aside geopolitical arguments, let's start with a simple question. Why do we collaborate across borders at all? In academic terms, collaboration has clear benefits. Bibliometric studies show that internationally co-authored publications are more widely cited, more visible, and often more innovative. In OSH, cross-border projects bring in perspectives from engineering, medicine, psychology, economics, and many other disciplines, making our science richer and more relevant. But the case for collaboration is equally strong when it comes to impact. Policymakers at both European and national level are more likely to act upon evidence that reflects diverse workplace contexts, is robust across multiple jurisdictions, and carries the credibility of multiple respected institutions. Think about it. If a PEROSH study on reducing occupational cancer risks include data from 10 different countries, it is much harder for a policymaker in Brussels to dismiss it as just one country's findings. Correspondingly, and national policymakers will equally pay attention to research findings at consistency across multiple national contexts. Excellence without impact risks becoming irrelevant, and impact without excellence risks becoming ignored. The art and the necessity is to achieve both together. This is the unique role of PEROSH's member institutions in their national OSH ecosystems, and it is the role which can be strengthened through European collaboration. Let me just switch slides. PEROSH's new strategy is more than a plan on paper. It's a blueprint for how we can use European collaboration to strengthen both our science and our influence. Let me therefore present its goals and underlying rationale. We have different strands, as you can tell from this house. We all know that the first strand, competency development. We all know that the strength of our network depends on the skills of our people. That's why the first strand is about developing competencies that matter. Through joint programs, we can design and offer competency development opportunities beyond the capabilities of our individual institutions. Some of the planned actions include training on EU funding. Picture a young researcher at one of our institutes who's passionate about psychosocial risks at work, but unsure how to navigate horizon calls. PEROSH training demystifies that process. It provides actionable guidelines and helps turning ambition into funded projects. We also have emerging topics workshops, from AI and OSH to gig economy safety challenges. The world of work is changing, as Margrethe was also saying. By pooling resources, we keep our researchers ahead of the curve, and the recent workshop on AI and OSH in Rome is a testament to these ambitions. We have science and policy training. Imagine a brilliant intervention study that never leaves the academic journal. This training ensures that that doesn't happen. It is teaching our people how to identify dissemination opportunities and translate findings into the language and formats that policymakers will act upon. We have dissemination impact pathway workshops, helping teams design dissemination as integral to the research process from day one, not as an afterthought. At the institutional level, we can learn what channels are effective in reaching diverse audiences. We have the second strand, and if you want, this is the heart of it all. It's the joint research. It is the heartbeat. And over the years, there has been many joint research projects that have been completed. Some are still ongoing. And our planned actions for the future include shared priorities. By aligning our research agendas, we avoid duplication and focus on the big questions in OSH, whether it's nanomaterials, aging workforces, climate change and OSH, or other topics. We are focusing on shared databases. A feasibility study will explore how we might pool data across borders. For example, imagine the power of a European-wide OSH exposure database for influencing policy. We look at early career development. Our joint projects are an ideal training ground with mentorship, exchanges, and international team experience built within. We have the advocacy strand. Science only shapes policy when it's heard at the right time, in the right way, by the right people. Whilst the stakeholders at national level remain the sole responsibility of our member institutes, a number of transnational institutions affect policy and regulation at the European level and eventually at national level, an example through European Union directives that are transposited into national legislation. Therefore, it makes sense to forge stronger relationships with key stakeholders at European and international level and work systematically with opportunities to inform policymaking. So we focus on stakeholder relations. We want to maintain and strengthen relationships with DG Employment, EU OSHA, ILO, WHO, and other key bodies that affect OSH regulation and policy. We also want to strengthen our policy watch. We want to create a structured process for scanning emerging legislative issues and allowing PEROSH to provide timely evidence-based input before decisions are made. We have a strand concerning dissemination. Scientific publishing is expanding exponentially. It is estimated that about 5 to 7 million new articles get published every year. Since 1996, it is estimated that 64 million articles have been published. Making sense of these massive amounts of knowledge, even in a minor field such as OSH, this is a challenge. we are at risk that important scientific knowledge gets ignored simply because no one has an overview. And the ugly truth is that research has no societal impact if it sits on a shelf. Within the PEROSH scientific community, much context-pertinent research gets published each year. And the challenge is to make it accessible across Europe. Therefore, we have planned a number of actions. We have focused on technological solutions that will help us manage our knowledge better. We will explore if it's feasible to develop accessible databases and interactive tools and visual summaries of the cumulative body of research going on and produced by our members. We also want to conduct an internal awareness campaign. We must ensure that every researcher in our institutes knows about what PEROSH is doing, and that there is an opportunity to tap into a network of kindred spirits and experts. We must find ways to strengthen researchers' connections and enhance collaboration. It begins with awareness of what PEROSH is and the expertise it holds. Until recently, we did not have a full overview over the domains in which our members do research. We now have this knowledge, and we must leverage it by making knowledge about past and current projects accessible and by bringing our experts together. And the last strand is about infrastructure. Science is expensive, particularly in the STEM field. Significant investments in physical and technological infrastructure is needed. And compared to universities, PEROSH institutes are relatively small, and therefore we must think of clever ways to invest and utilize such infrastructure. We must consider our collective infrastructure as a hidden treasure. If we collaborate, potential synergies can be realized, and therefore choose actions will be set in motion. For one, we want to map our capabilities. We want to catalog the labs, the facilities, and the areas of expertise across the network where we can collaborate. We want to explore sharing models. We will explore if it's feasible to make these resources available to partners across countries. For example, enabling a noise exposure study in one country to benefit from the specialist lab capacity in another country. So if we are to look ahead, if we fully embrace this strategy, imagine what things could be like in 2029. We could have a PEROSH portfolio with high priority research project backed by all 15 institutes. We can have shared data sets enabling meta-analysis that define global OSH standards. We can have early career researchers fluent in both the language of science and the language of policy. And PEROSH could be the first point of contact for EU institutions looking for OSH evidence. And not the least, tangible policy changes in multiple countries can be driven by PEROSH research. This is not wishful thinking. It is achievable if we commit to the European collaboration that the strategy demands. Therefore, colleagues, we have the people, we have the expertise, we have the infrastructure, and we have the plan. Our challenge and our opportunity is to use it in a way that fulfills our dual mandate, to be academically excellent and to have real-world impact. International and particularly European collaboration is how we do both, and PEROSH is the platform that makes this possible. Let's commit to making that platform even stronger, more active, and more ambitious than ever before. Thank you.